Hello to all, and welcome to CAIE 5th Grade Science, Unit 4, The Way We See Things. I'm your teacher today, and my name is Diana Syed. The topics that we will be covering today are: number 1, vocabulary; 2, light travels from a source; 3, mirrors; 4, seeing behind you; 5, which surfaces reflect light the best? 6, light changes direction. Okay, so let's first start off with our vocabulary, which is our first part. When we repeat the vocabulary in each section, you will see the vocabulary word, the meaning of the word, a sentence using the word, and a picture of the word. As a side note, all our vocabulary words are also found in the Learner's Book. So let's begin. Our first word is light source. Here we have a picture of many different kinds of light sources. Meaning, a place where light comes from. For example, the sun or torch. Sentence, the sun is a natural light source. Beam, meaning, a band that light travels in. Sentence, I can see a beam of light coming from the lamp. Next word, object. And I put an arrow here because I want you guys to really focus on this ball. Meaning, the thing that is reflected. In this case, the thing is this ball. Sentence, I can see an object because light reflects off of it. Reflect, meaning, the action of bouncing off a surface. And here we can see how the light is coming in and bouncing off of this surface. Sentence, light is reflected off the table into the eyes. Surface, meaning, the top layer that is next to the air. Sentence, a smooth surface reflects light better than a rough surface. In this case, in this picture, the surface is the top of the wooden table. Mirror, meaning, a very smooth, shiny surface that reflects light well. Sentence, in a mirror, you are seeing light from yourself reflecting off the mirror. Image, meaning, the picture of the object that you see on a screen or a mirror. Sentence, you can see an image of yourself in a mirror. And in this case, the image that we're seeing in this mirror is of a girl. Depict, meaning, to show in a certain way. Sentence, the girl can depict the sun on paper. So she's showing us how she sees the sun. Okay, so she's showing us the sun in a certain way. She is depicting the sun. Periscope. Here's a picture of a periscope. That's a really interesting looking thing. Let's see what it says. Meaning, an instrument with tilted mirrors that allows you to see over the top of something. Sentence, submarine uses a periscope to see what is on the surface of the sea. In this case, it's looking at the boat. Rate, meaning, to put in order. For example, from best to worst. You can rate what surface reflects light the best or worst by doing an experiment. And this is something that we're going to look more in depth in a little bit later on in this presentation. Next, angle, meaning the number of degrees between a horizontal and a line. So you can see here that it's showing us the angle. And I want to show you that this line here is the horizontal, and the other one is the line that they're talking about. And the angle is the degrees between them. Sentence. Light travels from a mirror at the same angle as it arrives. And this is another thing that we're going to get a closer look at further on in the presentation. Ray, meaning a line that travels in, a line that light travels in, excuse me. Sentence. A ray of sunlight comes through the open window. Okay, so let's start now with the rest of our topics. Topic 2. Light travels from a source, unit 4.1. In this unit, we will see that light travels from a light source. Light reflects off objects into our eyes. So first, when you switch on a torch, what happens? Does the light come from the torch or does it go into the torch? What do you think? Yeah, of course. We see the light coming from the torch. So it's leaving the torch, not going into the torch. And here we see how the light is coming out of the torch. The torch is a light source. Now, there are many different kinds of light sources. Can you think of some? Well, we mentioned torch already. Any other ones? Yes, light bulb. A candle is another kind of light source. Fire, very good. What else? A lamp. Excellent job. But here in all of these light sources, we're missing the most important light source of all for all of us, and it's a natural light source. Can you remember what it was? Yes. Our main light source is the sun. Light travels from the sun in beams. A band of light is a beam of light. And here you can see the beautiful beams of light of the sunlight coming through the clouds. How we see things. All right, here we've got a really good diagram, and we're going to go by it step by step. So what's our light source in this diagram here? Yes, the sun. The light travels from the light source, the sun, to the object. And what's our object in place here? Yes, in question it's this flower. Light source sun, object flower. So the light travels from the light source going in to the object. The light reflects or bounces off that object, boom, and the light goes into our eyes. After that light goes into our eyes, look at that. This is how you see an object. So again, light source, the light reflects or bounces off of the object that is getting the light from that light source, and then it goes into our eyes and we are able to see the object. Topic 3, mirrors, unit 4.2. In this unit, we will see that mirrors have a shiny surface which reflects light. A mirror image is back to front. And we're going to take a closer look at the periscope and see how it uses mirrors to see things above you. So let's start. Let's go into mirrors and that they are a smooth, polished surface. And it's very good at reflecting light. So here we have a mirror. A good example of this kind of surface is a mirror. When you see your face in the mirror, you are seeing light from your face reflecting off of the mirror. The reflection that you see in the mirror is an image. We can depict or show how a light reflects off a mirror in a diagram. So let's see how this works. So here we have our mirror. We draw straight lines for the beam of light. Here we go. Remember, we're depicting. We are showing how this works. We draw a straight line for the beam of light. And we show the direction in which the light is traveling with air. So remember, the beam of light comes in and then the reflection comes out. A mirror image is back to front. Wow, look at this beautiful picture. In this picture, we can see that the image of this mountain is being reflected on the lake. The smooth lake is the surface it's being reflected on. But look, it's reflected, but in a reverse direction. It's not reflected in the same direction. And this is what a mirror image does. A mirror image is from back to front. All right, and now we're going to take a look at the periscope. And it's a great example of use of mirrors to see things. So here we have the light from an object. In this diagram, a boat reflects off the top of the mirror. Okay, so what's our objects in question? Here we go. We've got the boat. And here, if you can look closely, we've got a mirror. So the light from the object goes into that mirror and it gets reflected off the top of the mirror. And then look what happens. This sends the light directly down the tube onto the lower mirror. And right over here we have got another mirror. The lower mirror reflects light directly into the eye. So again, it's moving in this direction, and then we can see the boat. This is how a periscope works. Unit 4, seeing behind you. Unit 4.3. Mirrors can help us to see things behind us. All right, so here we are going to look at it very detailed. We've got man 1 and man 2. And let's see how this works. The light source in the room reflects on the back of man 1's head. So the light is hitting here, it's hitting him here on the head. And then what happens? The light then gets reflected off of his head on the mirror that man 2 is holding. And here's the mirror, that light gets reflected off, and then what happens? The light reflects again from the mirror man 2 is holding onto the mirror in front of man 1. The light reflected off the mirror in front of man 1 goes into man 1's eyes, and that's how he can see the back of his head. So we can understand that by using two mirrors, we can see what is behind us. Topic 5. Which surface reflects light the best? Unit 4.4. Flat, shiny surfaces reflect light the best. Rough surfaces absorb light. All objects reflect light or absorb light. The amount of reflection depends on the surface of the object. So let's think about a piece of paper. There we go. Now, it's smooth and flat, right? But if you look at the paper under a microscope, you will see it is not so smooth and not so flat. It's got lots of bumps in it. And here you go. That's a microscopic view of that paper. If paper didn't have all these bumps, you could see your reflection in it. So the smoother and shinier the surface is, the better your reflection will be. And now we are going to do a small experiment. And let's take a look at different objects with different surfaces. We have a mirror, which is very smooth. There we go. A piece of wood, it's rough. And we have a plastic spoon. It's also smooth, but not quite as smooth as a mirror. So here's our question in place. How will different objects reflect light? And we're going to rate those objects from best to worst. So let's begin. What do you think? Can I see my reflection in a mirror? Can I see my reflection in wood? Or can I see my reflection in a plastic spoon? What do you think? Yes, absolutely. The best is a mirror because the surface is very smooth, very shiny, and we can see our reflection perfectly. Not so good is the spoon. Some light is reflected. You can see maybe a dark image on the spoon, but you really can't see your image very clearly. And finally, the worst of all is the piece of wood because no light is reflected. The surface is very rough. And remember, in rough surfaces, the light gets absorbed. It doesn't bounce back. Topic 6. Light changes direction. Unit 4.5. In this unit, we will see that light reflects off the mirror at the same angle as it arrives. So let's take a closer look. Light reflects off mirrors as the ball bounces against a hard surface. So if you throw a ball straight down, it bounces straight back up. Think of it when you're playing basketball. You throw the ball down and up, down and up. As you're dribbling, it bounces right back into your hands. Well, if you throw a ball at an angle, it bounces off the floor at that same angle. So here, see, it's not a straight line. All right, there's an angle here. The ball bounces down, hits the hard surface, and then it bounces back out, but with the same angle. We're going to see that the same thing happens with light. Light reflects from a mirror at the same angle as it arrives. The picture shows how light travels from the source, and what's our light source here? Yes, a torch, to the surface, which is a mirror, and it's reflecting, and we can see that the angle of the light rays are the same. So, again, the light rays are coming in, they're bouncing out at the same angle. And we can see clearly that we have light rays here, and we've got light rays here. And this brings us to the end of our unit. I wish you all a wonderful day. Take care.